Hi, this is Riley, and this is Riley's Road from N332, your latest road safety and Spanish traffic law update. When we talk about making our roads safer, the conversation almost always defaults to things like speed cameras, stiffer financial penalties, and stricter traffic laws. But a groundbreaking new study released by the Línea Directa Foundation titled Sustainable Driver: A New Way to Be at the Wheel has laid bare an uncomfortable truth that road safety educators like my friend Mark Nolan have been saying for years. The real bottleneck in road safety isn't our technology, our vehicle safety systems, or the clarity of our traffic laws. The bottleneck is the human mind. The study reveals a profound psychological disconnect within modern driving culture. A staggering 75% of Spanish drivers admit to transforming negatively the moment they get behind the wheel, exhibiting levels of impatience, hostility, and aggression that they would never dream of showing in their normal lives. As young people and young drivers, we can be the change that is needed to turn back this negative progress on the roads. We can be an inspiration and encourage our peers to lead by example. To build a genuinely safe transport ecosystem, we have to stop blaming the road layout and start looking at the psychological mechanisms that create this vehicular alter ego. In social psychology, there is a phenomenon known as deindividuation. It is the exact same psychological process that happens when people post hateful comments online under a false name. When we are wrapped in a metal chassis surrounded by tinted glass and moving at high speeds, our brain experiences a profound loss of self-awareness and social accountability. Inside a car, we are anonymous. We stop viewing the vehicles around us as being occupied by parents, children, and working people. Instead, we reduce them to abstract obstacles blocking our progress. This perceived anonymity strips away our hardwired social empathy. A driver who would naturally apologize if they accidentally bumped into you in a supermarket corridor will suddenly lay on their horn, flash their lights, or dangerously tailgate you if you delay them for 3 seconds at a roundabout. The car effectively acts as a psychological shield, separating us from the human consequences of our behavior. That same similarity can be seen at the checkout queue. Nobody would rush past the line to squeeze in at the front, and yet it seems acceptable on the road. Pushing someone aside in the supermarket would cause a shocked reaction, and yet on the roads it is seen as normal. Perhaps the most alarming statistic from the Línea Directa report is that 1 in 3 drivers openly confesses to routinely ignoring fundamental traffic laws such as speed limits and safe following distances, while 14% admit to driving after consuming alcohol. Why does this happen even when these exact same drivers agree that traffic laws are necessary to prevent deaths? It is driven by a cognitive flaw known as the optimism bias or illusory superiority. As human beings, we are hardwired to believe that bad things only happen to other people. When a driver rationalizes tailgating or speeding, their brain convinces them that their fast reaction times, their high-performance brakes, and their superior skill level insulate them from risk. They believe the safety margin applies to the average dangerous driver, not to them. None of this is true. This is exactly why road safety education cannot simply rely on the threat of a €200 fine or a point deduction. Fines target the action, but they completely fail to address the underlying psychological trigger. True road safety is an exercise in emotional intelligence and cognitive awareness. As drivers, we have to actively recognize the exact moment our vehicular alter ego takes over. We need to understand that anger at a slow vehicle, the urge to tailgate a driver who cut us off, or the decision to check a phone message are not rational choices. They are primitive emotional impulses triggered by a brain misinterpreting traffic delays as an existential threat. Until we teach drivers to understand why their minds transform behind the wheel, we will continue modifying the laws while failing to modify the actual body count. True road safety doesn't start on the tarmac, it starts in the mind. It starts with understanding. You can also find more articles about the psychology of driving at the website projectunderstanding.eu. Remember to follow or subscribe for audio updates wherever you get your podcasts. And finally, for more information about me, Riley Villa, you can visit my website, rileyvilla.com. Thanks for listening, and until next time, be safe.